Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ostranauts. I assume you're probably going to be seeing this as a VOD instead of the actual live stream, as that just seems to be the way things tend to go. So, what has happened? Well, we took our game and we moved it from the original setup that we had over to the experimental test build instead. Because it turns out that all of the problems that I had with this ship that had me spending 8 hours with low pressure, no pressure alarms, at least 9 of them I want to say that I have installed across the ship, screaming in my ears and making me deaf, was legitimately just some code that has yet to be fixed in the regular version, I guess. That's not part of the test build. So, we're just gonna pick up, I guess, pretty much where we left off. We're gonna put Adam right back to work. Pick up another 24-hour license. Slap on this wonderful yellow EVA suit that I ended up getting at one point. And snag all of our batteries from our battery charger over here. Now, with this full suite of batteries that we have, we should be able to genuinely fully strip out any ship that we come across, or go essentially for days without having to stop and bother. So before we get going, we're gonna put away our tools, we're gonna pick up our tool crate, we're gonna pack our oxygen away, and then we're gonna equip ourselves with our weapons. So, this is the official Rakow tool crate. This is where we are going to store every single thing that we don't need. Immediately on hand. So we can put that there, and then this is our weapon crate, so put some bullets in our back pocket. Refresh the handgun. And we are ready to leave OK Leg. So let's get some clearance from the local docks. There we go. I have actually not taken this ship out since we docked it, and since I did any of the modifications that I made to this ship, so I have no clue how it handles, I have no clue how well the RCS maneuvers, none of that. So I guess we'll just pick something that's a little bit close. Ship tracking, and we can zoom in and we can see, yeah, it's the box. We're gonna make sure that we cancel out our horizontal velocity as much as possible. So that way we're only looking at a directional velocity instead. Now, admittedly, the main reason why I wanted to get out of OK Leg was to make sure that I didn't have to pay any sort of real docking fees for staying at OK Leg, because those fees are admittedly very, very predatory. Yeah, piss off, cops, unless you want the Captain Pirate Special. Or Pirate Captain Special there. Alright, so we're gonna hail the ship, we're gonna hail this one. Go back to the nav map. We're gonna slow it down even more, even more, even more. We're under 100. Meters, we're within the 5 kilometers. No, come on, come on. There we go. So yeah, unfortunately, due to the bug that occurred, I had to end up selling off most of our reactor parts. So if you're curious as to what our current progress is on building out a reactor and a torch drive for the ship, the answer is no. It is not happening. There is no way for it to happen. Go about 50 meters a second, because that seems to be about my comfort zone. There we go, we parked at the Jaundiced Scanner, a DOC Lunamax. My oh my, what a strange, peculiar looking little ship. Well, we will step out of our airlock over here and pick up our dolly along the way. And we're going to start to strip this thing for some parts. Now, I assume I can strip this out for, you know, perfectly safe. We're probably going to take some of this walling off over here. Let's see, that's a messed up cooler. Well, I don't think we need another cooler. You know, that reminds me, I need to find a way to install lights on the front of this ship. So there we go. We'll start the uninstall. Because our first order of business is to get money. We are very, very, very thin on funds right now. And unfortunately, we are trying to get ourselves an apartment here on OK Leg, if not citizenship elsewhere. If I remember correctly, the soft amount required for citizenship seems to be about $1 million. And, well, I don't think $1,000 and some pennies is going to go and get us anywhere far. Oop, wait for the autosave to kick off. Yeah, no, it's been a while since I played this game, honestly. I pretty much have left it alone since I tried to record the original, what would have been episode 7, and had some difficulties with the save just not working due to program shenanigans, we'll call it. But now that I am, you know, kind of set with a different path, or not path, Oh, trying to think of the word to describe it. Different version of the program, you know. Things have been running fine. You know, originally all of this space inside of our ship, it would have said absolutely zero pressure whatsoever. And it would have been the temperature of space, you know, the negative 270 C. You know, quite chilly. So we're going to load up on these thrusters. I mean, 4 grand per thruster, that's pretty darn good. That's a lot of scratch. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. $36,000. That's not bad. Getting back on the auto task. Requeue that one up for uninstall. Because, you know, that's our main goal in this, is just, right now, we need money, so let's make money. And you'll notice that I have a grand total of 4 of these dollies now. I don't remember exactly what I did to get them, or when I got them, or how much I had to sell off to get them, but I decided that having the 4 dollies was more worth it than anything else, just simply for the ability to move and to haul crap around. Because admittedly, I like to tear ships apart. And when I can store, what is it, 4 by 4, 16, you know, squares, so something that's this shape right here, in something that only takes up 9 squares, I will take that, because that is a very good space economy right there. And if there's anything I've learned in this game, it is you do need to be a little bit economical about your space. Especially when you're creating a giant Borg box ship like I tend to create. But it does lead to a lot of fun. And honestly, I say it every single video, every single time I play this game. I genuinely love this game. Between this game and Dwarf Fortress, I'm not certain which game has my interest peaked more right now. Just simply for the fact of I enjoy, you know, resource management and all the other management that comes along with it. There we go. We'll go get that other thruster right before we leave. We'll probably punch a hole through the wall of the ship for it. But in the meantime, let us begin our salvage mission. Let's see, we'll take that turbo pump off your hands. We'll take this turbo pump off your hands. And then I guess we'll power up the battery just to see what's going on with this ship. Take a motor. Motors are pretty, they aren't too expensive, but, you know, it's always nice to have them. Because you never know when you're going to need one. Take that nitrogen. Take this turbo pump. Now let's see, how much is a cooler worth again? I know I have a few strapped to the ship. I don't know if I have enough. 7.5. I think that's worth it. Doesn't matter if it's broken. We'll just fix it up eventually. And how much is a heater worth again? Heater's only 2.6. That's not very, it's 2.6 and it takes up 4 spaces. I can fit more than 2.6 in 4 spaces. I mean, shoot, you can get, you know, about 10 grand with 2 RCS thrusters in that space. Granted, I know I'd say that while taking a 6-space heater, but, well, it's a heater. When fixed up, I'd rather just sell the... Or, sorry, it's a cooler. I'd rather sell the cooler than the heater. There we go. And I guess we'll store gases back here. And that right there is a spare battery that I picked up. Yeah, that's another thruster assembly. So we'll sort that back into the pile with the rest. And that's an intake. So while we're at it, we'll just move that down into engineering. Eventually, I'll go and I'll see about walking you guys through what's going on in the bowels of our ship. But for now, you'll just have to trust me when I say it's pretty awesome. We've managed to build out a half-decent ship. Hey, Danny. Yeah, no, I did manage to revive the save. I got really lucky. I was reading through some of the comments from the devs in the Discord, which, if you have any issues with your game, 100% take it to them every single time. They went and they pointed me towards their public test beta. Due to the size of my ship and the fact that most of the tiles on this are stripped out of another ship, I had some issues with ghost pressure and ghost rooms and some sort of incompatibility between tiles, essentially, and where the essentially where they were originally located not working with where they are currently located. I don't understand it. You know, it's all beyond my understanding. Anyways, moving my save over to the public test beta seems to have fixed all of that completely, so I'm no longer bleeding all of my air out through just the floor of the ship. So let's see, if I go to the orders tab, we don't want wharf, we don't want any of that for right now. And we'll just tag up for uninstall on all of that. And that's another pump there. So we can tag that up for uninstall. Oh yeah, and no, this is definitely, you know, Captain Adam Walsh, you know, the guy that I've been playing for a while. And it looks like the power is out on the ship, so we'll just take that out. And figures the battery that I picked up was damaged, so we're going to have to uninstall the one that we have on our ship instead. Alright. So we'll head all the way to the back. And since this one is busted as crap can be... Oh, yeah, that's right. We don't want to install anything in this line right here, because if we do, when we run the conduit over, since there's conduit in the wall, it will all connect, and I don't particularly want that right now, as that'll turn my ship into a constant live wire of power, and that means the about 11 days or so. In the very beginning of the series, I don't remember exactly why, but it could definitely be related to that. It could also be related to poor oxygen management on my part. If you do look at our original ship, it was a box sled, and that ship does not have any sort of atmospherics whatsoever. It is one of the worst ships. I'm not going to say the worst ship. The actual worst ship is the Coffin, which I swear is something like a few walls strapped together with a single rocket booster and a nav station on it, and there is no way, aside from, just saving up money, that the ship is worth the mortgage that you have on it. Okay. Just some mild instability. I mean, the game is still in early access, so, there's going to be a few things that aren't exactly right still, but once again, I love this game. I do. And then we're going to take this battery out and we'll put it into this ship because there's some fun stuff that we can do with spare batteries and the free batteries like that to get some more information and data out of the spaceships that we're raiding that we'll be able to potentially sell or at the very least use to update our own navigation maps. Alright, so we'll just speed that up. And then at some point we're going to have to take a nap here with Adam because, well, I have had him up for a few days on this save, and I still need to get him rested. If I don't get him rested, it's not going to end too well. He's just going to flat pass out, and he could run out of battery or oxygen, or, one of the very few events that I do know of that might happen could happen. I'm not going to spoil anything because, admittedly, I am not into all of the missions and the quests and the lore yet. I've just been running about space, hacking ships apart, and building a box because that's what I've been enjoying. Oh, yeah, no, the controls for this game are fantastic, and it is very, very fiddly. There's so many buttons that you can press everywhere. So, just for example, well, Adam goes all the way back. We have the roster app. So we can set, his working hours, his sleeping hours, and when he has free time, we can tell him whether or not he can get off the ship, whether or not he can open the door to the ship, whether or not he can fix things. Then we can go over here. We can set, priorities for stuff. The priorities are fantastic. We have the zoning menu. You're able to, section off areas of the ship, which I mostly use just for hauling and bartering right now. Adam, where are you? I want you on that ship. So we'll turn on the power of visibility. Uninstall that can real quick. Do I want another thermostat? Yeah, I want another thermostat. We're going to have to check every bin on board as well. Because we can find some trenchers, some drinks, a little bit of vodka. All the nice stuff. So we'll take that. And we can install our battery. During long shifts spent eviscerating half-dead ships in the boneyard, you often wondered what it would feel like to do the opposite. Why wrench out the beating heart from a wounded ship when you could just nurse it back to health instead? The question returns to you as you look around this derelict, now through the eyes of a self-employed spacer. The prospect of finding an answer has you feeling like an uncaged animal. The sound of your breathing repeats in your helmet and grows more eager with every exhalation. You set to work, and your tools resound through the hull all around you. During idle moments, it's hard not to consider the consequences of installing and uninstalling parts you don't own. Sure, you're in a junkyard, but it's the IO's junkyard. And while they might turn a blind eye to the salvage trade when it suits them, they will bring the hammer down as soon as it doesn't. That goes double if you happen to make a derelict fly. The standard blocks on a nav station are onerous, but far from prohibitive, and clever engineering can take you a long way. But as soon as trash becomes treasure, you can be certain corporate security won't be far behind. And if you're not careful, possibly a few years in the brig. Of course, one upside to IO being fueled by blood and profit is that they'll sell anything to anyone for the right price. The ship broker kiosk in OK Lake Commercial District keeps a record of every hunk of junk out here, including this one. So that's where you'd go if you decide to purchase her proper. Either way, stealing or buying, it won't be cheap, but freedom never is. So all we're doing is we're just slapping this in just so that way we can get access to the nav station. That's it. No purpose. We aren't reviving this ship. I don't care enough to. Though I do think I am going to take some... There's a lot of parts I'm actually going to take from this ship. Like we're going to uninstall the lights. And I'm going to uninstall these damn O2 alarms because I don't want to hear it. Let's see, so what is it missing? Well, we'll see. Motherboard, heatsink. It's missing at least one other part. There we go. And while he's working on that, we'll pocket some of these alarms and stuff. Now, I don't really want to get this thing completely fixed up. I just need it fixed up enough that I can get in there and poke around in its guts. So I guess we're really going to speed this up. So once that blue bar is down, we'll be able to hop into our PDA and grab some crap from this ship. There we go. We'll put him to auto task so that way he's doing something in the background. And we'll take both of those. And now, we'll tag that for scrap so that way we can get all our parts back out of it. Tag our battery for uninstall. We'll tag all of these lights as well because I want some more lighting on my ship. And unfortunately, when you're in a dystopic space future, apparently, lights are about $1,000 a pop, and I don't feel like spending that money. We'll take the bins. Just gonna kind of scan the walls with my cursor, just see if I can find anything else. There's another bin. And then we'll just punch a hole in the wall. Give us some ease of access. And we'll speed things up a bit. Pick up the nitrogen and oxygen because those are big ticket items. Because, you know, it turns out partly non-renewable resources in space are worth a lot of money. There we go. It looks like I accidentally tagged some floor tiles as well. I don't know, we might pick up some of the floor tiles. I do kind of like that orange and blue. And before we go out of the ship, let's see where we're dumping stuff off. There we go. Put the lead out to the side. Drop the motor and drinkables down there. Drop the scrap bits. And there we go. Nice, clean inventory. Yeah, no, get back to it, Adam. Now, I don't care too much about the conduit, so I'm just going to leave that. I have literal crates of the crap back on the, God, I want to say it's the Howling Mutant or the Howling Jackal, something like that. But either way, you know, when it's $1,000 a pop for the lights, I like a good lighting when it comes for games. You know, I want my stuff to be visible. I want it to look good. I've got nothing better to do, so might as well take it all. Yeah, sure, we'll take the thermostat. We've got our blue light, we got the power switch. And we'll let them auto task out this bin as well. Admittedly, cutting the videos down for YouTube shaves a lot of this out, because there is a lot of downtime to this game. There's a lot of taking your time with this game. Not everyone finds that enjoyable. Admittedly, I do, at least a little bit, or else I wouldn't be playing. And there we go. Oh, hey. A subfloor bin. Some coveralls. Well, we'll uninstall that, and then we'll come back for it in a minute. We're going to have to take a closer look around the ship. So for now, we'll drop that there. Put that light next to it. We can reopen our inventory, move some of this around so that way it's not so cluttered. So pick up this subfloor bin. just dump that off, because it's just nice to have those. They make for good storage. Honestly, I want to put one in the bathroom here. Now, is there anything else that I would want from this ship? Really taking a look. Really taking a look here. No, I think that is about it. So, let's hop on our nav station. And I think for now, well, no, we're going to keep the power on for a minute, but no, we want that open. That's open. That's already open. Okay, so I already have everything open. Nice. Okay, so we're going to turn the power out, and we are going to go to bed. Because I have to get Adam rested. Otherwise, he is just going to pass the ever-loving fuck out. Oh, that needs power. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Fine, I guess we'll toggle the power. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. And there we go, and hopefully that'll kind of weigh us down in space. Admittedly, I don't want to waste a bunch. Let's see, what time is it? 3? So queue from 3 until 8, I guess, for sleep. And then we can super fast forward 6 hours. Collision imminent. Okay, so I guess we can sleep 2 hours. We can hop on the nav station. Yeah. Disengage docking. There we go. Let's see. I guess we'll go park at this one instead and get us a few more hours of shut-eye. But we'll just have to make sure it's actually safe beforehand. Yeah, I did smack into that junker. Well, let's see what's damaged. Should be nothing. We should be fine. Get back to piloting, Adam. We can sleep when we land on the next station. Yeah, we're the Howling Leaf. I'm gonna have to see about trying to get the name changed on this at some point. So we've been to the Improbable Brother, we've been to the Jaundiced Sailor, Jaundiced Scanner. Honestly, we've only been to like 5 or 6 ships in the save so far. That's next to nothing, you know, that's not any real exploration. things up a little bit. And let's locate this ship. Target unresponsive. Okay. And 3, 2. Yep, we're just gonna mute that. Initiate docking. And there we go. And if you guys ever want, when we're doing a live stream or anything like that, always feel free to ask questions and, you know, talk. Because I would love to tell you guys, you know, just the stuff I've seen with this game and just shoot the shit, you know? And 3, 2. Clamped. Not bad. Well, Adam, I would love for us to, go to bed immediately, but first things first, we must defend ourselves, as a wise man once said. So, get strapped, and let's check for pirates first, because we don't know what's on this thing, and it looks like we are safe. Well, pick up that light while we're at it. And next time at the station, I have to pick up some batteries. So for now, we can go, we can sleep. We'll set it to rest hours. Let's see, 5, 6, 7, and we'll try to catch up on our sleep a little bit. Okay, so in 5 hours, we will potentially have a collision. So we'll sleep 3. We can check out the nav map. Okay, I don't know why you zoom me out to a frickin' gigameter. That is way too far there, buddy. Okay. Well, I don't know what's on collision course with us in 2 hours, but we'll zip through the dark world and we'll see about just ripping it apart real quick. So let's see. Pop through the inventories. We won't take the rack, but we will take this door. I've been wanting to get another door on the ship. For now, we're going to turn off the removing of the floor, the wall, and the conduits. Now, unfortunately, when you're taking and reinstalling and uninstalling doors, you have to do that all manually by hand, as they are too big to fit on the dolly. But I know exactly where I want this door, and I need to uninstall. Well, no biggie. We'll just take that wall out. And we use the inventory menu to just shuffle some of that stuff around, so that way it's not too big of an issue. And then, there we go. One brand new door installed. And let's see, that was a red light. You know, I'll install the red light here. And please close that door. I actually don't want an atmosphere in this portion of the ship. So at some point, we'll end up maybe installing a few more of those turbo pumps and completely vacuuming out this half of the ship. Because it was always meant to be more of a, what's it called, cargo airlock, you know? Actually, you know what? So I'm looking, there's the ship battery. No, it's just missing a conduit. Oh, that's a neat idea, using a cargo web as a way to store items. Fascinating. I never thought of that. I might actually have to use that for some inventive atmospherics. Then again, I don't think any of the pumps actually have any sort of real filtering system on them. The only way I know to get rid of the CO2 right now is the CO2 scrubber. And that was a whole purchase or a find, I can't remember. And we found ourselves another subfloor bin. More lights on the outside, more lights on the inside. Let's see. Ooh, blue lights. I happen to like the blue lighting. So we definitely want to see about snagging those. Well, let's punch a hole through the wall. And that'll take the thruster. And I want to say it's just that light there. Actually, while we're at it, let's see what's in. We got some splints, some nausea medication, some cloth. Nothing too useful. The heaters, I think we just went over that. They're only worth like 2.6 at most. Not worth taking. You look messy and smell bad. Well, game, you didn't have to personally insult me now, did you? I don't know why all my doors started to just leave themselves open like that, but it'll probably be fine. It's probably nothing. Let's see. Let's see. O1 is general atmospherics. Barely worth anything, if I'm being honest, but it's a tank. We'll take the tank. We'll sell the tank. Make some money. And while we're at it, we can store all these lights in our Compart backpack. Let's see. Orders. Uninstall. Why did you not tag the pump? Unable to comply. Why are you unable to comply? There we go. See, don't give me any of that crap. Want the pump? It's worth money. It's coming on board. There we go. So let's go drop off our first load of crap. So there we go. We got the RCSs. Then down here we have our turbo pumps. And we can put the ship battery just over here for now. Something like that. Let's see. I guess we'll put the RCS right there. We'll pick up all of these tanks. And we'll turn this little corner into a tank storage for now. Smack down another auto task. No. We are not going out the doors of our own ship. Punch a hole through the wall. There you go, Adam. And I want to say that should be everything that we are going to want, for the most part, on the inside of this ship. Make sure we snag this pump while we're at it, because, like I said, we like money. Let's see. We can store all the lights in our bag. And there we go. And we'll put the cargo webbing over here. I don't know if I want to actually install any in the future. That's something that's not really ever crossed my mind as far as things that I want to do in this game with how I want to build out, you know, ships and stuff like that. Cut time down. Let's see, we can pick up this dolly, we can pick up that light. Yeah, no, that's what I thought. Subfloor storage still can't be stored on a dolly. Admittedly, the classifications of what can and cannot be carried around on a dolly are a little bit weird to me, but I'm fairly certain the dev has their own reasons to everything, and it's most likely for some sort of balance purposes. So I'm not going to complain too hard. Now let's see. I want to install a single bin, like somewhere there, I guess. I now finish putting that door on. Now let's see, inventory. Let's put this bulkhead bin. Guess we'll go right there. Now I know I had some blue lights in here. So we'll install those real quick, because I want my ship to look as good as possible. Gonna have to restore that before it breaks. Also to get rid of the blinking, because I do not tolerate that on my ship. There we go. Alright. Now, I don't want to leave my super handy full of just useless crap. So we're gonna have to find a nice spot to store those lights for now. I think what I'm going to do, we'll put our smart crate down. And I'll pick up one of my spares. And we'll turn this into light storage. There we go. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that when I record for this game that I do actually just end up full on cutting out because it takes a lot of time and it doesn't look good on camera. And it's usually, you know, organization stuff like this. Now let's see. From what I can remember, installables I put over in this corner. So we'll save these lights for when we decide to go and open the ship up a bunch more. Because no matter what, the ship must continue to grow. And then while we're at it, we can pick up our crate. We don't want the power toolbox, we want the manual toolbox. And we can put our screwdriver right back. And there we go. Nice clean inventory. The ship is stripped out. We have all the stuff that we want from it. Is the roster still set up for sleep? Let's see, we're looking at 9:30, so do a little something like that. Try to capitalize on as much time as we can get to sleep. And we aren't going to sleep in the medical bed either, because I don't think that gets you good quality sleep. We'll have to use the sleeping bunk for that. Let's see, I'm gonna have to pull up the calculator for that one. Okay, so 11, 5, 3, 4. I'm gonna divide that by 60. So 192 minutes. Okay, let's divide that by 60 again. So we got 3 hours and change before this station crashes into Ganymede. So we'll sleep for 2 hours. We'll get up, hop out, pilot our way away to our next lootable station. Because we have a lot of sleep debt to catch up on. We need the energy, we do. Hey everyone, welcome in. Feel free to comment if you want. Feel free to talk, you know. Here to chat. Here to have some fun. We just finished up scrapping through our second ship of the day. And now we have to hop off of this one just in case it ends up crashing into Ganymede over there. Because I would rather not have to deal with fixing up this entire ship from scratch again. It takes quite a while once you build something this big. So we can zoom in so that way we can make sure we aren't crashing into the dark weld. So I think we're going to want this one. So we'll get our bearing set to as close to 0 as possible. Get our, I guess, our forward direction velocity up so that way we get there pretty fast. Cut down on our horizontal velocity. Let's see. That's relative velocity. And then cross velocity. Okay, we'll start to use the proper terms at some point. Let's see, we're definitely going to have to slow down just a little bit. Usually when within 10 kilometers, I want to try and be about 150 to 200 kilometers per second, or sorry, 150 to 200 meters per second as far as speed goes. Anytime you're going over a kilometer per second, you are going way too fast for any sort of safe docking procedure or any kind of anything. Alright, we have the docking set up for the uninitiated. And we'll just speed things up a little bit. Slow it way down. Cut it to about 50. And there we go. We are now docked. Alright, time to armor up. Adam, where'd you just dump your helmet at? Do you frickin' goober? No, seriously, where'd you dump that helmet? I really liked that helmet. Damn it, Adam. Oh, there it is. EVA helmet. Move this here, move that there. We can dump our super handy and get strapped. Backpack goes in the crate. And let's see what's on our new adventure here. Not looking at anything. Adam, get back on the ship. We are making sure this shit is safe before we just go and fuck off to go take a nap. So there was a reactor here, as you can tell by the hole in the floor and the pellet feeder. Found ourselves a helium tank. Not bad. We'll have to take that for ourselves. And the rest of the ship is gone. Well, let's look through the bins, see if we can't find anything. Ooh. Ooh. Is this still good? Any permitted from... Dang it. The 1st of January. This thing's expired by like 8 months. Otherwise, we'd be really in luck to have such a nice salvage permit. No, come on. We aren't done checking all the bins out. And I guess since we are safe, we'll just pick up this crate. We'll drag this crate. Check the few more bins laying around. Let's see, antibiotics, painkillers. Definitely take the Gravlock injector. Or the Gravucine. That stuff is very useful. Let's see, we'll check the inventory on the sink. Bunch of water. We have a tank on our ship that we'll be able to retrieve that with. Alright. Grab that. And let's get back on board. Alright, so this had nothing but trash in it. But that's okay. We're just going to pop that right into our storage bay over here. There we go. And let's crack into this one. There we go. 9mm. Not bad. If we find a old Earth weapon, we'll actually be able to use that. I don't think I've ever actually seen one. Where did you... That's where you got off to. No, no, no. We are not sleeping there. We still have things to do. Give me a minute and I'll let you get your sleep, bud. Okay, so that's more ammo. We'll put the splint there for now, and I guess we'll just dump this smart crate. Because I think the rest... Oh no, that's the weapon crate. Oops. Because I think the rest of what's in this smart crate is just not worth us handling or anything like that for now. So that can go there. And we'll set Admin to sleep. Alright. I have to go. I have to use the bathroom, so we will be right back. And there we go. We are back. All right. Oh, yeah, that's right. We have to take off our pressure suit before we sleep. Put the pills lower in our bag. Dump the knife on the ground. I want to keep that gravity suit on us just in case we decide to do any high-speed maneuvering there. And there we go. Now we can get some sleep. Let's check the time. It is 11:30. So we're just going to do something like that. Then let's get about 5 hours of sleep. And we almost have beaten out the sleep debt that I have incurred. So we'll have ourselves a quick meal. We'll eat our noodles with nest egg, herb, and dairy flakes. Yum, yum. Now, why is this door open? I want you to be closed. I don't need you leaking. Okay. Now, where else is... Okay, so why are you complaining about low pressure? Oh, well, I don't particularly care. We'll figure that out and burn that bridge down when we get to it. So we have our tools, we have our gear. Dump this gravusine. Drop some antibiotics off. Store that in our crate. Put our helmet on. Let's see if we turn that on and we shift click like so. Should now have a lot more light on this ship. Now we'll just hold on to it for now. So we're going to keep uninstalling the subfloor bins, as many as I can find, because I just like them a lot. I want to see if I can't just install them at key points throughout the ship, so that way we can store, you know, extra EVA suits, extra weapons, food, medicine, you know, that kind of stuff, just wherever we may actually need it. A little bit for cool points as well, admittedly. You know, what else are you going to do in space when you have nothing to do but build ship? I mean, if I was a real creative, I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't just be making a giant rectangle in space, but I actually really happen to like making a giant rectangle in space. There's something about it that's very appealing to me. You know, it's something about the practicality of being impractical, I think, that I'm enjoying. I'm not worried about the low pressure right now. Shut up about it. if I was worried about it, I would be, you know, cramming around my ship trying to figure out what's causing it right now. But I'm not. So, hush. Another bin. Nothing. We'll check on the PDA, see if... Nope, no other PDAs around. Tag these cans. Let's see, signal box. We already went through that inventory. That with an uninstall. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get too much from this ship. But a pellet feeder is always a welcome addition. Yeah, it's only worth $1,000 in its low repair kind of state, so if we want to sell it, we'll have to fix it up first, but that's okay. Little tiny bin over here. It has nothing. One more subfloor. We got another pump over here. That leads out to a CO2 can. We aren't going to break through the wall for the can this time. We don't need that. We'll take up the O2 can. And I mean, I want to say that should be it then. So we'll just start Adam out on a little bit of an auto task just to get all this stuff uninstalled, and then we'll see about hauling it over ourselves. Or actually, you know what? We can set up some queuing orders. And then let's see, where did that... Yeah, it'll be fine. So there we go, we can take the pump for hauling now. And I'm trying to remember where that sink. So there's the bin. Get that nitrogen. And there we go. We're going to have to install more sensors across the entire ship. And I know it's just going to cause more crap like that that's going to annoy the ever-loving shit out of me, but there's not really a choice. You are dipping down to 73 kilopascals of nitrogen for a second. Quit whining. It is going to be okay. There is nothing wrong with the ship. It is fine. Actually, you know what? I'm uninstalling you. We're going to rewire every single nitrogen canister that I have on board, all to one sensor. There we go. And the ship shuts up. Who knew? And then we're also going to want to tag that pellet feeder for hauling as well. Oh, come on, buddy. Let's just make this quick and let's get out of here. I don't want to sit on the ship anymore than I have to. Alright, so we got the subflooring. We've got all the cans. We've got everything else that we want. Okay, cool, great. Go away, go away. Any other sensor want to complain and get ripped off the wall? No? Okay, that's what I thought. Alrighty, dock info, request clearance to undock. Release the clamps. Now let's see, what way... Now I want to move around this ship, so we're just gonna have to zoom in. And just gently outmaneuver the thing. There we go. Here, let's pick this one next. And mostly this is just what today is going to be, is us hitting up ships, ripping crap out of them, and trying to catch up on sleep. Okay, like scans us. They're going to message us here shortly, unless it's one of our enemies, in which case they're going to try and board us, and if they do board us, well, I have the American solution. I do believe it's called a gun. kilometers. Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Use our cross velocity and our true velocity, just kind of slow it. And yeah, that's what I thought. I know my transponder's good. Leave me alone. Slow your roll there, buddy. There we go. Time for what? Round 3, round 4, something like that. Ripping through these ships. Let's see what's going on in the debug. Police checking player despite license. Yeah. Hey, look at that. Turns out that might be a bug. Either way, I think that one should actually stay in game because it kind of makes sense. Corporate, police going and harassing you while you're going and working inside of their shipyard. Honestly, it makes perfect sense. If they didn't, I'd be alarmed. All right. Throw our helmet on. Get strapped. Ooh. And we'll use our Weber torch laser to rip this thing apart real quick. Sorry, I just saw a spider inside of my room here, and I needed to kill that real quick because, well, spiders belong in the outdoors. They do not belong inside of anywhere near me. They have, a couple 100,000 square kilometers of good old outdoors that they can live in. They don't need to be coming inside of where I am. Let's see, check this smart crate. It's empty. That's perfect. We need more smart crates. We always need more smart crates. Ooh, a fuel regulator. Not bad. Still missing most of the bits, bob, and caboodle for a proper reactor on our ship, but we'll get there at some point. The main thing that I'm looking for still is a deuterium tank, I want to say it is. Let's see, we'll hack this open real quick. Not bad. Let's see what we got. Hey, some fresh batteries. We've been needing those. Our smart light's actually almost out. So there we go. Put those in there. And I guess we'll put our gun away for now. And I guess we'll head back on board our ship, dump this off in our storage. Actually, you know what? I have a very fun, inventive thing that we might be able to do. I want to say it was this crate. And I take this. And I come over here. And I take this. We right-click it like so. We give it a good old spin. Smack it on the wall. Access the control panel. Yeah. Go away. Let's see. There we go. There we go. And now, silence. No more incessant beeping over us supposedly losing air, even though it's fine. We have enough atmospherics. You don't need to be freaking out so bad. It's fine. Shut up. Don't worry about it. The world is not burning down, Chicken Little. Calm down. Let's see, those are thruster assemblies. Those can go up with the rest of the thruster assemblies. Now, the shitty thing about having so many thruster assemblies that I've just ripped off of ships today is I'm going to have to fix all of those, and that is going to take a while. And there we go. Now let's slow down time just a little bit. And we can put our crate down, or our dolly down for a second. Let's see what's in these bins. Ooh. Let's see how old this ship is then, I guess. Oh, whoa. Hold up. Valid until 2079. 9-8. Oh, shit. We just got us a better permit for salvage, actually. Now we won't have to spend money on a salvage permit next time. Not bad. Found someone's locked PDA. We're gonna take the t-shirt, take the cigarettes, leave the tactical knife. Now, you might ask yourselves, why are you taking the cigarettes? We've never seen your guy smoke a cigarette in his entire little life. Well, that's because my guy doesn't smoke, but everyone else on OK Lake does. And if you want to make friends with someone, what's a better way than giving them free cigarettes? Because, you know, cancer in space, why not? I don't think we'll need the anti-nausea pills. Take more thrusters. Always take more thrusters. What's really going to suck is eventually we won't be able to build an exact box. It's going to actually have to have a little bit of aerodynamics to it. For right now, if I remember correctly, where you put the thrusters just doesn't really matter. But eventually I know it's going to. So we'll have to actually learn how to design a ship around that time. Admittedly, though, I am kind of excited and looking forward to that because, well, I mean, I don't know, it just seems like something that'd be fun. And the bottle of vodka is empty. It's always empty. There's never any vodka. Alright. We're going to dump this all back on the ship real quick. This can go, we can put that there. Put the pumps back up with the pumps. RCS thrusters with RCS thrusters. And we'll put the storage crate over in the main storage for new crates, I guess. Yeah, we'll just leave that there for now. We'll sort it out later. Especially with the fact that there was another crate over here. We'll access the lock. We'll hack right into it. Alright, let's see what we got. Drink pouch, bunch of electronics and motors, not bad. I guess we'll pick up another heatsink for it. Might as well fill out the box. Ooh, goody. Well, we just got us another free handgun. Those are hygiene packs, always useful. Now, I already have a copy of that brief, I guess we'll call it, on reactors and how they work, so we'll hold off on picking that up for a second. I'm going to take it either way. I just want to make sure that I get everything proper put away. So if I get a little creative here, we can tuck that in there, tuck that back in there. That's where I'm keeping all our spare EVA gear for now. So we'll hit up the weapon crate. Put our spare handgun away. And we'll come up here, we'll drop this crate off. Nice and fresh. Let's see, was it this bin? Yeah, it was. Alright, so I guess we'll throw that on there. Got a few more crates. Hack through them, see what we got. Splint some power tools. Yeah, we'll take that for now. And this one's empty. Perfect. So let's hit up these bins, see what they got. Nothing worth taking. We'll come back for that other bin, or that other smart crate here in a second. Rip another thruster out the walls. That's another $4,000 if I want to remember correctly. It's like 4.3. We should have at least $30,000 to $40,000 on our ship right now. And that's not including the yeah, I'm not paying any of that. They can bite me. Or that's not including any of the what's it called? Oxygen and nitrogen tanks, because the weight of the gases in those tanks actually exponentially increases their value. Because I want to say, like, a tank just by itself is worth maybe a few $100s, but a full oxygen or nitrogen tank, now that is worth some real money. Let's see, we want this battery. We'll just queue this one up on an uninstall set. So we can start to save just a little bit of time on this. Drop the speed down. Let's pop into these crates, see what we got. Loot box number 1. Let's see. Poster, some more splints, some more clothing. Not bad. Not exactly worth anything. But honestly, I never expect there to be anything that's actually worth breaking into these crates for. I mean, unless we could find some ablative core lining for when we get a reactor. That might be worth it. Let's see, we aren't going to want the knife. And everything else will just be passable. Check the bins. Can uninstall this battery. Speed that up just a lot of bit. Hey, look. Another sweatshirt. A full pressure suit. Not bad. Now this is the really expensive crap right here. I mean, look, it's damaged. This stuff is not in good shape, but even in its most damaged state, it's almost worth the same amount as any of the thrusters that we're going to be able to fix up for our ship. Plus, I'm fairly certain I sold off the fuel regulator that we had back on OK Leg, so that way I could afford Kung Pao chicken. Just kidding about the Kung Pao chicken. Sadly, I don't think the bird is existent anymore in space. Alright. Well, we'll dump some of this stuff off. We'll pick up some other crap. And we'll get back to looting. Because that's just the game. That's the game loop. Do I care enough about that nav station? I don't think so. Ooh, yeah, that's right. We can dump off this crate, and then we'll put this one more up there. You know what? Yeah, you know what? I'll take a rack. Let's go install this on the ship real quick. Because, you know what? That'll make a nice place to store some small things that we don't really care too much about, but we might need often. Just start double checking stuff. There we go, we got our reactor parts. And I think we'll store the reactor parts over here on the right. Hand of the ship. Pick up some of the stuff that our guy just kind of dropped when he hauled it over here on his own. Admittedly, I don't like using the hauling tag, because I would rather do a little bit of micromanaging and control where everything goes on a ship. Let's see, so we have regular air pumps, we have turbo air pumps. That's another RCS, I'd recognize you anywhere. Let's see, we'll put our screwdriver down on the floor, along with that. And then we'll bring that over to the cell zone. Goodness, this one's taking a while. There we go. So bring it over here, and let's see what we got. We got a t-shirt, a zip gun, not bad, and some pressure suit crap. Well, we'll deal with the sorting that all out later. For now, let's pick up our actual crate. Repack everything in. There we go, all nice and neat. Just the way we like it. Pick up the dolly. Because we still have a few things in here that we can pick up and take with us. Let's see, did I grab all the pumps that were in this section? Yes, I did, along with the canisters. I can take this battery. And there we go. Now, if I really want to spend time expanding the ship today, I would strip all of that out normally. But after the amount of trouble removing parts and building out a ship caused me last time, I'm a bit good for now. Let's see, where was I putting RCS intakes? I don't think I have a section for those yet. That's an air pump. It doesn't... Well, yeah, we'll just start to move stuff around a little bit. There you go. If we take our helmet off, we'll actually be able to hear a little bit of what's going on. There we go. And we can put up our bag. Oh, there. Yeah, we'll find a spot for these disposables. Somewhere that... Ooh, actually, you know, we'll just throw them in one of the crates in the cell zone. Alright. Now, we are very, very much in luck with the permit that we found on that ship. That'll allow us to do a full extra day or two a salvage without having to go and spend more money on that kind of crap. No. Get back there, Adam. I'm picking stuff up right now. You don't get to wander around. So we go throw the emergency pressure suit that we just found in. And we're just going to start loading up as much crap as we can into these cargo pants, I guess. There we go. There we go. See, we're slowly building out a wardrobe. Let's read the paper gun on workplace safety. So we have to keep O2 above 20. CO2 must not exceed 1. Between 290 and 300 Kelvin. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about entitlement. Guess what? Nobody's entitled to crap in space. Nobody cares. But just for shits and giggles, we'll slap it up on the wall. After all, you know, at some point here in the near future, we are going to get our first employee. And we are going to, you know, at least attempt to respect the fact that there is some form of OSHA. There we go, and I believe that does it. So let's go to our PDA, we'll check the files. Okay, so I guess if it's in here, I can't see it, so we'll dump that on the ground then. Oh, shoot, that's right. I haven't hacked into it yet. So we'll slow down. We'll use our skill in hacking. And it is now open. Put that in the rack. And there we go. We now have more data in our PDA that we can go and sell for money out there. Now we're going to just start to drag some of this stuff where we want it. So I'll probably put that one about there. I'm going to want this subfloor bin. So this is kind of like a break room, if I remember correctly. So we'll put that there. Eventually that'll get loaded up with like booze or something once it's installed. up this CO2 can, dump it over here. Come on, Adam. I know I did not design the most walkable ship, but you'll get over it. There we go. Not bad, not bad. Let's hop on the nav station and get away from this one, because I think we are done with the crypto fascist. Nice. That's a fun name. So let's see if it has a name. We've been to it. We'll turn up our throttle. Now you'll notice we're moving a lot slower. We've dropped by about 0.3 Gs. And I have a feeling that we just smacked into that ship that we just robbed. Alright, damage overlay. Damage report. What do we got? A little bit of damage over there. Not bad. We'll be fine. We won't worry about it. Well, we will worry about it. Why are you going out in space without your stupid helmet? I mean, he'll be fine. Now that we have the suit on, it's just going to take him a minute to stop screaming about the fact that he nearly spaced himself. I swear he's a genius. And we'll also restore this floor. So let's actually take a look at Adam. And we can see that we're actually getting pretty close to getting training done for combat engineering, construction, and mechanical engineering. Robotics and software, I don't know what we need to do for that one. But honestly, we are doing ridiculously well for skills. My favorite by far is business admin. If you can get the business admin skill, I scream from the rooftops, get it. It's what tells you exactly how much things are worth, and it saves a lot of guessing game when without it, all you see is, oh, hey, this one is worth, you know, $1 or $2 dollar signs. This one is worth $3 signs. Like, that tells me nothing. That tells me absolutely nothing. There we go. So we'll hop back on the nav station. And we'll peel a little bit more away from the crypto fascist. Let's see. So we have about a minute and a half. So let's come down here and let's start to uninstall and reinstall some cans real quick. So let's see. That one's good. That one we can take out. This one we can take out. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because it turns out we are a little low on fuel, which means we're going to need to do a fuel tank swap. Now luckily most of the ships that we've been going through and hitting up have had, you know, nitrogen tanks on them, so we won't have to worry too much. But it does mean our time out in space is going to start coming to an end of we should probably see about getting back to OK Lake. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna burn through all of our fuel, trying to slow down. Let's see if we can't. We're just going to dial it in and take it really, really slow on this. So, look at our bearing. Try to stop it as close to 360 as we can get. Go. We are dead on target. And we're just gonna speed up time and let natural drift take us there. Try not to waste our RCS fuel. We're already gonna have a hell of a time with going and placing all the damn tanks. Little bastard. I swear sometimes the maneuver drive is a lot more touchy than your regular throttle. And there we go. We are now docked at the In Good Hands. As is tradition, get strapped. Honestly, if we really wanted to, we could turn our light on and we could leave the smart crate for now. We'll dismantle this door. I don't want any more doors for now, and we have enough as is. So we'll just rip through that. Ooh, lucky day. I think we might have run into a little bit of a gas hauler. Just a little tiny ship. Nothing too impressive. And transponder's out. Transponders are never worth messing with anyways. 9 times out of 10, you're just going to destroy the damn thing. Ah, that's right. I don't have any tools on me. But now that we've determined that the ship is safe, we can pick up our crate. We can turn off our light. Actually, you know, we'll keep the light on, and we'll actually use it the way it's intended to. Put it right about there. Not bad. We can pick up the dolly, and we can start to rip this sucker apart. You know what? Now that we're actually so far out of orbit with Ganymede, we shouldn't have to worry about going and taking a little nap to catch up on the sleep that we missed. And that's a full battery, too. That's not bad. Which reminds me, at some point I'm going to have to turn the Screeching Children back on, so that way our atmospherics don't completely void themselves into the cold depths of space. And while we're at it, we might as well, will you stay closed? Thank you. Right, so we want that tank, want this tank, want this tank. Four, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. We're going to be very deliberate in our installation so that way we're actually getting full cans installed. Because these empty ones, if we were just to queue up a install order, there is a high chance that, as smart as our buddy Adam here is, he'd probably just go and install the ones that didn't have any gas in them. Let's see. That should be the RCS intake for that one. Now, it's not going to get us a full tank of RCS fuel, but it'll get us pretty darn close. Alrighty. Let's go dump off the empty tanks. And rip through the ship for everything else that we might really want. Alright. Like I said, these O1 canisters, they're really just not worth the trouble, but we'll take them because they're small. They don't take up too much space, so... Sometimes you do just want something for, you know, the few extra dollars that'll get you in your pocket. Alright. One last load of air tanks. And then I think all we have to do is go get our Phobos light back, and then we should be all set. Oh, yeah, you know, that's right. I just remembered that portion of the ship is completely vacuumed out right now. suck it up, Adam. You'll be fine. Quit your whining. Honestly, it's stuff like that that usually ends up with my character dying. Let's see, I think that's everything, so pick up our work light. And let's scoot. We'll set up our roster for another few hours of sleep. Let's see. Cue that all up for work again. And look at that. We are almost well rested. Finally. After all this time. So we'll grab ourselves a bite from the fridge. Which legitimately, I only have the fridge installed because I want to be able to grab a bite from the fridge. I feel like if I'm gonna be controlling this guy, I might as well give him a comfortable life in space, you know? Have him use the crapper. And then we'll wipe ourselves up with a hygiene pack so that way we actually feel fresh and clean. And then we'll see what percentage we're at for RCS fuel afterwards. So let's see. We'll head down here because I already have some garbage down here, so I might as well try to keep it all in one spot. So we'll clean up. We'll clean up one more time. And now we are well groomed. There we go. So we're looking at about 62% fuel. That's not too bad. So let's see, do we want to... Well, we're pretty far out, so I guess we'll smack some of the stuff that's out here. Try to, be careful about our fuel expenditures, because I don't think we have much RCS left after what we currently have. So there we go. We are now traveling through space. We have about 9 minutes, so pray a few seconds before we hit our destination. We're actually pretty far out from OK, like. Burn to the side just a little bit. Slow down some. Oh shit, we're actually on a really good heading. Go within 5 kilometers, so let's hail this ship up. Ooh, it's gonna be a decently big one. I have a good feeling about this. Alright. Get our bearing down to 0. There you go. I believe under 0.1 degrees should be a good amount of variance for now. And we'll slow down just a little bit the closer we get. Just move everything a touch over to the side. Perfect. And we are docked at the up for anything. Alrighty. One more time, we know the drill. Light on. Gun in hand. Oh, snap. We just found a mother of all ships to raid. Oh, yes. We are in for a good time. Let's see, we'll check this rack. Ammo casing. Not bad. I know eventually there's supposed to be some form of crafting added into this game. I don't know what the devs have planned for that. If you look at their other game, Neo Scavenger, it actually has a interesting, we'll call it, crafting menu. More of a grid where, you know, you throw stuff up in it. Say I wanted to combine, you know, the Weber torch and a battery, I'd throw them both up in the grid, and then I'd hit a little button, and the button would craft them together to a torch with a battery in it. You know, that kind of stuff. That was their original kind of menu for their last game, Neo Scavenger, which is a very good game. It's one that we do cover here on the channel. I hope you guys enjoy that one as well. Which reminds me, we will definitely be going back to that sometime soon. Dump our light out. We'll load up this backpack with some loot already. Take that patch. Good enough. Just kind of stagger, move the light as we go. Okay. So we go, a whole bunch of welders and other stuff, a little bit of vodka. Not bad. We'll dump that right by this door. And we'll dismantle that one as well. Ooh, boy, I am curious to see what's on the ship. Alright, we found our first dead end. We'll search everything first. Because if we don't have to come back here, we aren't coming back here. Well, actually, we'll drink the coffee. Found some sleeping bags. So we're probably in the crew quarters right now. Let's see, found more gear for us to wear. Doesn't matter that, you know, the person who last wore it's probably dead. And there's a good chance that we'll actually run into their dead body. Tan coveralls. Nice. I'm kind of hoping that we actually run into the mythic purple coveralls out here. Those things are worth... Oh, goodness. I want to say it was 600 grand the last time I saw him. Yeah, that's right. $600,000. Yeah, sure, we'll take the penknife as well. Just kind of dump all this stuff out. Let's see, we've got some pain pills floating around. Speaking of, how are we feeling? No pain? Fantastic. Alright, so we already know that the outside of the ship is pretty much blasted open. And I can't see anything underneath all this cargo webbing. But we are still going to take a look. We're just going to blast through walls. We have zero fucks to give right now. So it's definitely some kind of cargo hauler. Honestly, I'm beginning to wonder if I don't want to go and if I don't want to expand out our ship some more. If I do decide to do that, I will end up calling the stream about there, just that way you guys don't have to sit and watch that, because that will take a ridiculous amount of time. Especially for something of this size. I want to say the last time I went and chewed through a ship, it took me somewhere around like 6 or 7 hours, 8 hours. And I don't think I can keep talking for that long. Already my jaw is starting to hurt, so... Okay. So we're kind of getting a picture of the ship. So we got remains of a reactor room. We got more space over here. No, that's just the crew room. Okay. You know what? Yeah. I think we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna claim this ship as our own, and we're going to rip it apart. Because that is a lot of real estate, and something about that just makes me unable to resist. So, we will call today's live stream here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching this as a VOD, I very much appreciate you know, sitting down and watching for almost 3 hours. And if you were here for the whole experience, thank you so much for tuning in and joining me. I very much appreciate your presence.